worth?
Crystal
10,000?
idol is double what the gold idol is worth. So the gold idol is 10 and the crystal is 20, I think is correct. Machete break hype.
Oh, yeah, that's 20,000. That's a lot. I guess I can confirm that.
And then the monkey will only produce about 12,000, so that's why you will not see any crystal idols sacrificed on altars. Buddy struggling with the machete break. Something I wanted to draw attention to earlier is Mazurak had 14 health going through 1-4, whereas some other streamers did not have that much. You can see Shin has 10 health and Buddy has 9. That will not directly influence score. Being able to take more hits without dying may help in the long run. It means that Mazurak has been doing a better job collecting gold or avoiding damage.
Sorry, I just want to point out we made a slight mistake with the crystal skull. It's actually 15,000.
15, okay.
Yeah, because I guess the idol becomes 7,500 into jungle, so double that is 1,500 or 15,000. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Which is still more than the 13,000 you're likely to get off a monkey. So we still will not see any crystal idols sacrificed. Also, I don't think there's an altar on this level.
Yeah, so you physically can't do that. But if you ever see a score run where there is both, pretty much no one will do it. So in case anyone's wondering why, we actually have a really good lineup on streams right now. All these people are really good at score. I think the best of them all is probably Twiggle right now.
So there is...
Wise.
I have the level spoilers in front of me right now. And if we see anyone get to the mobile level, there's the potential for something really neat to happen, which I will not spoil. But there's also a lot of crust bomb boxes. Man, there's a lot of crust bomb boxes on this seed.
Oh yeah.
No difficulties at all with resources.
Once you get past the black market, it's funny though. The black market's actually, it's pretty bad. There's not like normally in a score run, you kind of get into the black market, hoping that's where you get a majority of your resources, because there's 5 shops in there, and you know hopefully some of them are bound to have a matic or bombs. But in this one, not really any of them have anything.
Mm-hmm.
You get most of your resources in the crust in this one, which is in normal runs. That's just it's not really a thing that you hope for.
Yeah,
or really get.
Now the runners also have this cheat sheet, so they know what's coming up.
Yeah.
So they have the ability to plan for it, which means that they will end up potentially running this a little bit different than they would a normal seed. Because they don't know what's coming. So it could be that you use your last bomb and then the next level has no resources and you just have to skip anything.
Yeah,
this time they know what's coming so they can plan for it, and that will make a potentially large difference in how this plays out.
Yeah, with unseeded score runs, you don't know how many bombs will be on the next level. I think it's still typically you still, as long as you can get a gem in 1 bomb, I think that's normally like it's okay to use all your bombs, unless you're trying to save some for the getting into the black market, because you don't want to miss that.
The black market is a little important to a score run.
Just a little bit.
A smidge.
So we actually, I think, I'm looking at the scoreboard now, the highest score into the jungle right now was by which was 557,000 into jungle. Right and right behind him is Buddy, just 2k behind him into the jungle. So we're getting some pretty tight scores here. Shin Greywords was actually 7,000 behind Buddy there. But yeah.
And Shin does not really have the same score pedigree behind him as people like Buddy and Mazurak have. He is newer to the game, but he is advancing very quickly. So seeing Shin up there with the top tier players is really refreshing to me.
Okay, it's actually already been an hour and my time slot's up. So I guess you'll be switching off. Someone else is going to come in here. I'm not exactly sure who, but I'll be commentating the last hour too. So
yeah, I know who it is, and it's a treat for people who were at AGDQ. I'll be sticking around for the next hour as well before I'm spelled off. So Meow, thank you for helping open this stream with me.
Yeah, it was fun doing it with you. You're good. It's fun. Always fun commentating with Demono.
Did a fine job as well.
And everyone, here is Rudiger. Bye, guys.
Mr. Rudd.
Mr. Demono.
How are you, sir?
I am doing excellent. It's just like old times.
It is just like old times. I have missed this.
Yeah, man. I've been away for a little bit. Some people might not know who I am. I am a nobody who is terrible at this game, but sometimes shows up in streams and talks about things.
That is a remarkably accurate summary. But for people who are not aware, last year, Rudiger, Kinnijup, Hat Dog, Bum Commando, and Lauren and I represented Spelunky at Awesome Games Done Quick, and it was a fantastic job. We had a lot of fun. And Rudiger and I were the couch commentators. Now we have the commentary team from AGDQ here for you today.
Yeah, just if we had Bum and Kenny on Mike, that would complete the whole circle.
That would be quite a thing.
It would be bedlam is what it would be.
It would be complete chaos.
All right, so I was watching the regular stream, so I'm going to load up the commentator view here, so
all right,
I can be on par with you.
Okay, there's some neat stuff we can do on the commentator stream, like bring
up did Saturnin set all this up? Because this looks great.
I believe Saturnin and Meow did all the setup for this, and it is fantastic. Congratulations to both of them for all the time and effort they put into making this thing a reality.
Yeah, this is top notch. This is real good. I mean, Hectic must feel terrible about himself for the way he ran things before. I haven't seen it. He's probably crying right now.
Well, I mean, just in general.
All right, so far we've got really Buddy, Twiggle in the top spots, right? Mazurak?
Yeah, Mazurak is up there, and Shin Greywords is also doing really, really well. We have Krill in the top left on the stream now, and he is a top-tier score runner. And Twiggle is back in the bottom left again with over 500k in 1-4.
Yeah, Krill is just a beast at this game. I mean, after AGDQ, when Derek just offhandedly mentioned, what did he mention, a no-gold pacifist hell run? And then Krill did it in like a day.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours later or something.
The guy's insane.
And then he said blindfolded run, and you did that, and it was amazing.
Yeah, well, I do have the first Spelunky blindfolded run on YouTube.
It is true. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thanks. It was quite a challenge, but I'm glad I pulled it through. Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Well, I tried to be informative about it.
Okay, as we do here. So I mentioned earlier that Mazurak had 15 health leaving the mines because he's made very good use of the Kapala. Twigglefly, bottom left, is not yet done in the mines and also has 18. Which means that it wasn't just a one-off that Mazurak happened to get a whole bunch of enemies that gave blood. It is something that can be done consistently on this seed.
Yeah, if you're careful, there's a lot of things that look like they're just random in this game, but these guys are really planning for everything.
Now you may notice in the top right corner, if you're watching, that Mazurak waited before picking up that crystal skull. He actually spent a good 10 seconds there, I believe, just standing next to it. And the reason that he did that, it wasn't just to draw attention. You'll notice on his stream now there are 2 ghosts. When you pick up the crystal skull, a ghost spawns immediately.
Yeah, you get yourself another ghost there. You try to time it so that you're not going to get killed by either one, and you can do what he's doing now. Get them lined up together so that you're really only dealing with one ghost.
And that's something that takes practice. You cannot do that on your first time generally. And he's got them pretty well lined up, not that it matters at this point. So
looks like he's just about done with the mines. And his score is right up there with the other guys for the top spots.
Yeah, he may choose to mine out some extra gold to try to push it, but I don't think he will. And there
he's out of there.
About 550,000, as the other top players in this competition so far have achieved. So congratulations on that, Twiggle, and welcome to the jungle. We got fun games.
There you go. Wonder if Mazurak saw that crust box there above the entrance.
Yeah, I would assume that he saw it and is clearing the level out first. A good strategy for score runs is to clear out potential ways to take damage and die before starting.
Before the ghost comes, really.
Yeah, before starting to do your thing. And if you do it in the wrong order, then that will kill you as well, which I found out the hard way on the mothership once.
There's a lot of things you find out the hard way in this game. Basically everything.
But the nice thing is there's always another run. So there will always be a chance to do better than you just did. And again, even on this Scoreathlon, anyone who dies gets 2 more chances to do better.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to do it. So much can happen, especially if you can get a... Whoa, I'm hearing myself here. But you can get a random shoppy thing, you know, that shoppy could just jump out of the shop. Something weird could happen. So having the 3 tries is a good way to go, I think.
Yeah, Krill taking care of the shopkeeper and a giant spider in some sticky situations. Climbing gloves do not help, really, with taking out shopkeepers. So he maneuvered that very well, and I was going to go sacrifice a whole bunch and get his very own personal Kapala.
Yeah, gloves in the shopkeepers, especially in that tight area, that could be a real challenge. You got to be real careful.
Yeah, however, gloves are very useful on score runs because it allows you to do things like refuel your jetpack easily. And not
That's
have to
true.
hover constantly.
But Twiggle has avoided getting the gloves. A lot of people don't like them.
So Speratus in the bottom left corner now is our first player to the ice caves that we've had on stream.
Yes, he's going to win this speed run.
He is. He's now entering 3-2, which is the Moai level.
Yeah, he's leaving a lot on the table here, but he's doing well.
He is. If we compare what he's got now to his previous best score, he's basically guaranteed to set a PB here. He does not have.
He certainly is, yeah.
Does not have a score on his daily average, though, is about 1.5 million, so he has the potential to score well. And it may be that he's just saving up for his wheelhouse. If he's really good at, say, the Temple and Hell, he could just be speeding to that point because he knows that's where most of the money is.
You're saying he's biding his time.
He may be, yeah. If he's not confident with a zone, it's reasonable to skip that zone for the most part and get to the part that you're comfortable with. And that may be his strategy. So Krill up there in the top left just took some time to make sure that he carefully placed a bomb in the top left corner to get that sapphire. And that's something that you'll see, again, a lot of the top tier score runners do, is they won't just bomb for a gem. What he did was he positioned the bomb in such a way that he could maximize the gold that he also got. So if you have someone who makes sure on his position to maximize gold going up against someone who does not do that and just goes after the gems, first person will always have a slightly higher score than the second because they're taking their time, being careful and they're doing what they can to maximize things.
Yeah,
And that's where your
bomb placement
spread
goal.
starts to come.
Yeah, it's really important. General Thug just killed the Vault Keeper there with the Matic strat. Who came up with that Matic strat again?
That is Brute Strats. That's Brute Force did that.
Yeah, that's right. How could I have forgotten?
It is the safest way of killing a shopkeeper.
Yeah.
And not the most resource efficient.
When I started getting involved in the community, which was about the time that B-Rex did his plasma cannon run, I started watching Yama trying to beat B-Rex's score. And back then, the way you took care of Vault Keepers was you just bombed it and then ran away a few steps and just shot wildly and hoped that he didn't kill you.
Mm-hmm.
It was not the best solution.
Yeah, that was the standard for a long, long time.
Yeah, and these brute strats are a lot safer. You use a few Matic swings doing it, which, you know, maybe you don't want to do sometimes, but it's a lot safer.
And ultimately, it doesn't really matter how efficient you are with your resources if you're not around to use them. So safety is a paramount concern, which is why a lot of the score runners have switched to those brute force strats.
Yeah, and in a competition like this where people know what resources are coming, you can afford to use a few Matic swings if you want to.
So when Meow was here earlier, Thug just died in the bottom right corner again, unfortunately.
Oh.
When Meow was here earlier, we talked about mammoth duping briefly. Where the idea is you die in a certain way to the mammoth, and then whatever you're holding when you resurrect is still there. And an idea that I had, that I don't know if it will be useful, is since there is a Matic on the Moai level, if you could mammoth dupe the Matic, and when you respawn in the Moai, you will still have a Matic for the remainder of the ice caves. And it'll be interesting to see if anyone thinks of doing that and then is able to pull it off.
Maybe. I don't see how useful it would be, because normally there's plenty of mines and stuff you could use, and then you're grabbing the jetpack. I mean the plasma cannon shortly after. But it would be pretty neat.
Oh yeah, it could turn out to be a complete waste of time. I'm not going to lie about that. It'll be interesting to see if anyone does it, and also how many swings the Matic would have, because I don't know if anyone has done it with a Matic yet.
That's the first thing I thought of when you said that, is would the Matic spawn fresh, or would it be slightly used if you had used it? I wonder.
I would assume that it would have the same number of remaining swings as the original did. But as far as I know, no one's ever tested it, so there's no way to really know.
Barramundo just got spidered into some gems that he was about to go, so there goes a few thousand.
2,000. There's still a lot of time, though, for him to catch up. I think this is his second or third time through.
Better just quit now. I mean, that was the run right there. You just ruined it. It's all over.
Yeah, I believe this is his second or third attempt. So back in the jungle, we have Mazurak and Shin up there competing. They both have well over 800,000 already, and they're in 2-2, which is what Sparatus has in 3-2. So again, the difference in score between the really seasoned players and the ones who are newer to score running is going to become quickly apparent as they progress through the seed.
Yeah, well, but what's really impressive is how fast these guys are getting through it at this score. I mean, back in the day, these would have taken 4 or 5 hours, you know. And these guys are, nowadays, score running is like speed score running.
Yeah, people have less
so good at it.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Mazurak has the fastest 3 mil run. It only took him like 2.5 hours.
Wow, that's insane.
But yeah, we are only a little more than an hour in. We're about an hour and 15 minutes in. And these runners already have almost 1 million score, and they're not even halfway through the jungle yet. So we could see some people finish with more than 3 million potentially, and then restart again and see if they can do better. If they missed enough gems to make it worth it.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see people just not liking their score and just resetting for that reason. It seems a little dangerous, but, you know, you never know.
Well, a lot of score runners tend to count their unghosted gems. So they'll have a track of it, and they will know that a single restart costs them 40k. So if it happens that they've given up more than 10 gems, then they may just decide to make that choice and see if they can do better. We'll see.
They may, and you're taking the gamble that you're going to do better the next time.
Yeah, they do know that the seed will be identical. Excuse me. The seed will be identical to what they had the first time. So any pitfalls that they encountered the first time, they'll be able to better plan for and adjust their strategies.
That is true. We've got Twigglefly back in the bottom left. Now, is it Twigglefly? Is it Pengiji? Is it FatRat27? I just can't keep track.
It's all of those things. He has multiple personality disorder, and he streams as all of them sometimes simultaneously. It's quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, that would be a great multi-stream to watch.
No, I think it was Curticus at one point played Spelunky Classic and Spelunky HD at the same time on the same controller.
Did he really?
He did, and then he got crust specs on both seeds.
Wow, kids these days.
Yeah, better that than music, right?
Yeah, oh my goodness, you went there.
I went there. I'm an old guy, I can admit it.
So, right now, Demono, who do you think is going to take this? Show your bias.
Show my bias. Right now, Mazurak is in the lead, so not him. I'm gonna go for the underdog and say Shin is going to perform better than people may expect. I think Shin is going to be at least up there.
That's not what I asked you. Who is going to win this, Demono?
You're asking, do I think Kinney's gonna choke, is what you're asking.
Is Kinney even playing right now?
I don't know if he's playing right now, but he did say that if Buddy played, then he would.
Yeah, well...
And we saw Buddy earlier, so hopefully Kinney is going to be part of this. I think if Kinney plays, then he will probably win. If he doesn't, then my money I'm actually going to put on Shin. I'm going to say that Shin is going to be really, really good in this.
I think you're correct about Shin being really, really good, but I think that it's between Twiggle and Buddy. That's where I'm putting my money. Maybe it's just because I'm an old guy and those are the guys from back in the day, but I think it's going to be between Twiggle or Buddy, and if I had to, I'd put it on Buddy.
So you're going with Buddy, I'm going with Kinney, and if not him, then Shin.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think Kinney's going to choke, or do you think he's not going to run?
I think he may not run. He's keeping the suspense high.
He's going to wait until there's 1 hour left and then get 5 million in 48 minutes. That's his plan.
I mean, Kinney running, it's just a given, right?
Well, he said he wasn't going to run until Buddy said he was going to. So for a long time, he just wasn't going to be part of this. He was going to maybe commentate, and that was it.
Yeah. See, now the thing is, you know, I've had a few life things happening this last year, so I haven't been around as much as I used to be. So there's some of these people I don't know. Mazurak is doing a bang-up job here, and I don't really know who he is, but he appears to be top tier. So, you know, I could just be totally off base here.
Well, the good thing is we can look at that. Mazurak is one of the few people with a 3 million plus score run, 11th in score, 10th overall, and his daily average is more than 2.5 million. So he has been around. He actually is one of the people who does high score runs quickly.
Yeah. He looks to be really, really good, and I wish I knew more about him. I see we got Vlad switched in here in the bottom right as well.
Unfortunately, Mazurak just got himself trapped by the ghost, so he's going to have to reset. He had 900,000 in 2-3.
He was probably intimidated by my praise of him, and he choked there. Sorry about that, buddy.
You gotta stop listening to the scream, man. It's gonna throw you off. Stop trying to get hints.
I take it all back. All right, here comes Vlad with the brute strats.
So one thing that we did see finally with one of higher scoring streamers on 2-3 is that it is in fact a rushing water level. So down there we're going to have some chests after Old Bitey. We may get another crystal idol. I don't know what the prizes are down there. And we're going to see potentially some different strategies for dealing with Old Bitey, the giant old fish that happens to be down there.
Krill is currently ball and chaining.
Oh, that's interesting. We haven't seen that yet.
We have not seen that yet, and I think the reason why we haven't seen it yet is that I don't think it's necessary. There's a lot of resources coming up. I mean, if you want to get every single bit of gold, which, you know, is totally viable, you could do that. And it looks like Krill is going to be going all out here. He's in this thing to win it.
So we're going to see Krill taking 17 hours on this run as he ball and chains everything.
That's right. Is there a cutoff time? Is there like just a final, that's it, no one can continue at this point?
It is scheduled to go until 6 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
And then people can... I don't know, actually...
Is that the last start, or is that just the end of it?
I think that's the last that we cover. I don't know if people are allowed to continue streaming after that. I do know that
Saturn
if you want
says 6 p.m. it's over, so I guess that's it.
All right. So he has only 6 hours and 40 minutes to finish this in. I don't know if he can do it.
I keep getting confused with the East Coast West Coast times here. I was like 6 hours. It's way more than that, but no, you're right.
Yeah, there are a couple of gems that are difficult to get in the mines. Some people have been leaving behind, so the ball and chain should help Krill to actually collect those. We've seen people leaving the mines with 550. You may see 570 or 580 out of Krill after ball and chaining everything.
Possibly. I didn't pay too much attention to how many gems Buddy left behind, but I think where it's going to really come out for Krill here is with the little bits of gold he's going to be able to get.
Yeah.
That you normally wouldn't want to use a bomb for.
Yeah, those little chunks of 4 small gold pieces really just aren't worth the resources unless they're free resources like a ball and chain.
Yeah. So yeah, there's Shin in the Old Bitey level you were talking about. That shopkeeper just going mad in the water down there. That's a real dangerous situation.
Yeah, shopkeepers have some air they can get in the water. And that bullet just skimmed the top of the water that the shopkeeper just fired, so it is really dangerous down there with the shopkeeper. And we can see that he's being really careful.
Yeah, he's trying to be very careful, but you can get a stray bullet, like you said. They go crazy. And sometimes that Old Bitey, he doesn't give you much. Kenny had a world record run where it all came down to Old Bitey, basically, but then since then I haven't really seen a fantastic Old Bitey level.
Yeah, I forget who it was. There was someone who got a Bitey level with 3 or 4 vault chests.
Oh, that was real close for Shin.
That was.
Oh my goodness.
And for people who don't know, vault chests only appear in 2 places in this game. The vault.
Really?
And
I wouldn't have thought
Old
that.
Bitey. Yeah, it's surprising they appear in the vault, but that's how they coded it, I guess. They were going for random.
He took care of Old Bitey there. He's got that part of it down.
Yeah, there are 3 ways I know of, well, 4 I guess, to kill Bitey that don't involve just standing in a corner and whipping. The first time I killed him, I just chucked bombs at him, and the impact of the bomb is what did damage.
Not even the explosion, just the chip damage.
Yeah, I just hit him in the face with 20 bombs, and down he went. Looks like the Shoppy is dead on Shin's level, so he can now just go through there
Yeah, it was well played.
getting bitten by piranhas. So right now, we have Twiggle approaching 800,000 and just passing it now in 2-2. So he's going to be entering 2-3 as well with a very, very good score. Krill is approaching 500,000 and he's not even close to being done 1-4. And Vlad is making a go of it in 1-2. Looks like he has collected the vault. And
Yep,
he should
he
be
roots out
exiting
of
with
the
a pretty
vault.
good score.
Yeah, and he's flying through this pretty fast. And now we got Buddy swapped out for Vlad. Buddy looks like he's taking care of old Bitey and the shopkeeper down in that water.
Indeed, and he is approaching 1 million already in 2-3, as is Shin.
Yeah, he and Shin are neck and neck right now.
We actually have a race between these two now to see who hits 1 million first. And when they do, they will almost immediately surpass my score PB, which is kind of depressing.
Now, 2-4 coming up. I wonder what kind of score we're going to see in 2-4. Is it the black market, or did that already happen?
I believe the 2-4 is the black market.
Black markets can be pretty hit and miss for score, but with us running this prearranged seed, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty good. Maybe we'll see. Oh, there's a Buddy with 1 million there.
And they both got 1 million.
Shin with 1 million. We just will not let the other guy pass him up.
Yeah, what we do know about the black market is that there's not a lot of resources in it. But there may be a lot of gems and gold to pick up to make up for that, and there are a lot of resources before the black market that will help as well. So there will really be no danger at all of this seed running out of resources, even when the black market doesn't have any. If that's the case.
Resources do not seem to be an issue. Buddy's babysitting that pooping monkey right next to the tiki trap. Oh, nope. He escaped.
The monkey lives. Now, I don't believe there are any spikes in Bitey's water, so the monkey will be safe down there. It's just a matter of going down afterwards to actually collect all the stuff he pooped.
Yeah, he's jumping around down there. And Krill's still ball and chaining. Real dangerous around that ghost with that ball and chain. You've got to be top tier to be able to do that. And to take that ball and chain in the mines is just really something.
Yeah, not a lot of people even bother with the ball and chain except to break into the Moai head. So just the fact that he's doing it means he's already among the very few.
Yeah, and the people that will do it complain about it the entire time. It's not fun.
It is not.
Nobody wants the ball and chain.
Now, one thing that Krill's going to have to decide is whether he wants to keep the ball and chain into the jungle or if he's going to destroy it while he's still in the mines. Destroying it in the mines is safer, but keeping it all the way through will potentially give him an even bigger score. So it'll be up to him to decide which path he wants to go on that.
I mean, he's saving quite a few bombs doing this ball and chain. My guess is that he's going to destroy it. There's not as many places to destroy the ball and chain in the jungle. And like you said, it's pretty dangerous. So I'm betting that he crushes this ball and chain before he leaves the level.
Yeah, I would assume that as well. So now we have Spiratus, our first streamer into the mothership.
Yeah,
and he also has broken 1 million. He's also broken 1 million, and he has a whole lot of bombs that he hasn't used yet.
How many bombs does he have?
He has the perfect number of bombs.
I see. Yeah, I believe you're correct.
So what he's going to look to do is collect the plasma cannon, and ideally the robot as well. It could be that the reason that he didn't do anything early is that he is not comfortable with robot strats. In which case he would only have the plasma cannon until the City of Gold. Or until 4-2, rather.
Oh!
And then the bombs would
get
be
up,
for
get up,
use
get up,
after
get
that.
up! Yeah, Spratus just took a shotgun to the face there, but manages to live on.
Yeah, and that right there is why the Kapala is important. That right there is why the Kapala is important, because he was able to take a shotgun to the face, and usually that will end a run, but because he had so much health, he was able to continue.
It was almost run ending anyway. You know, that you can get stuck in a loop with that shopkeeper just shooting you, and he had those the purple circles coming at him from that alien lord. He managed to get out of that narrowly. Even with 13 health, something like that could be a deal breaker.
It could be, depending on everything that's around you.
Yeah, my entire focus now is on this mothership level, since it's the first one we've seen, and already it's been fairly exciting.
It has been. The Ujed Eye is ticking in the top right corner of 2-3 for Shin right now. So 2-4 is indeed the black market, so we will shortly see how the black market is for both score and resources.
Speratus being pretty systematic here in this mothership, taking his time, taking out the alien lords. Got the queen already.
And that is how you have to do this. If you try to rush the mothership, the odds of making a life-ending mistake, or a run-ending mistake, I guess, are actually pretty good.
All right, plasma cannon acquired.
All right, so now we're going to see Ghosting the Mothership from Speratus. Shin and Buddy are still competing for the best score out of 2-3. Buddy has a bit of an edge. And he's also getting through this more quickly than Shin is. Shin is taking his time a bit more.
Yeah, Buddy's been in this level a little bit less time than Shin, and he has a slightly higher score.
Yeah, and less time on the run in general as well. Twiggle uncovering the black market. So he's good to go. And he is also just starting his 2-3, so we're going to see him quickly approach 1 million as well.
Those climbing gloves are coming in handy for Speratus right now. Repositioning the ghost down below the level while hanging onto the wall.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, with the climbing gloves being useful for score runs and jetpacks things.
Yeah, he played that extra cautiously, gave himself plenty of space down there. And looks like he's almost done ghosting the mothership.
Now, I did not see where the robot is on his mothership. Did I just miss it?
I haven't paid attention to that either.
So it's also possible that he is not using a locked robot save file.
Possible, but I hope not.
I hope not as well, because that will limit the score that he can get. But that could also be the reason that he's saving all his resources for the late game. And yeah, I'm not seeing a robot pod anywhere.
No, yeah, no robot.
Alright, so we're going to see now, potentially, the difference in late game between having the robot and not having the robot, which is something I was not anticipating. We're actually going to get a visual demonstration of the benefit of having the robot and what potential score you can get with and without it.
Well, you know, he's obviously not gunning for the top spot in this competition. I think he's just trying to get a good run in and a respectable score. And if you're not comfortable with the robot strats, then you don't have to do it. I mean, he's got a good score going. He's definitely not going to get first place, but he's going to have a respectable spot on the leaderboard.
Yep, absolutely. And as I was saying before, if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it.
Yeah, people in chat are wondering if he just forgot to do it. I don't know. The way he's been playing this level, I think that this is intentional. So
Shin has now entered the black market, and it looks like Buddy is going to have the higher score into the black market. Shin entered with 1.1 and Buddy currently has 1.13. So Buddy's going to win that race. It looks like my underdog pick of Shin is not going necessarily to pan out.
Yeah, and I was just looking through the spoiler sheet for what's coming up to see if maybe there was a hired help he could use instead of the robot, and no, there's not.
All right,
so that means no plasma cannon in the City of Gold for Speratus.
Yeah, but 60 plus bombs is more than enough to get a really good score out of the City of Gold. So
Definitely.
It's not like he's going to have a bad score in this. He's still going to have a really good score. He's just playing the game the way that he is comfortable doing it.
That's true. There's a lot of bombs coming up, so he could get pretty much most of that City of Gold anyway. And if that works out, that's going to be pretty interesting. I think a lot of these guys, they're just used to doing that, and I wonder maybe it's not something that has to be done on this particular seed.
Yeah, it could be that there's just a billion other resources.
Yeah, maybe the plasma cannon isn't totally necessary. Because there's a lot you got to do just to get that plasma cannon to the City of Gold. You got to babysit a robot.
Yeah, looking ahead at the seed, there are a tremendous amount of bombs after the City of Gold. So I don't know if the robot is actually necessary for a really good score on this seed. I think that it's not required.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, there is well over 100 bombs after the City of Gold.
He is the first one to the mothership, so this is the first person we've seen not care about the robot, but I wonder what these other guys like Shin and Twig and Buddy are going to do when they get to the mothership. If they're going to take that robot just out of force of habit, or maybe they'll have used enough of their bombs. Speratus had saved up quite a bit, so maybe they won't have the bombs that he had. They'll want to take that hired help, or the robot rather.
So having the robot to get the plasma cannon through, it cannot be a bad thing to do. So I think most of these seasoned veterans are going to do that out of habit. And then when it turns out that there's a billion bombs, that'll mean if the robot dies, the run isn't actually over.
Mm-hmm.
If the robot dies early, then they can look at the spoilers. Because they have the spoilers, they know what's coming up. So they can look at it and say, the robot's dead, there's a billion bombs coming up, I'm going to keep going. And the only real difference, I think, between the scores will be the plasma cannon gets all the gold, and using bombs doesn't.
Yeah, for sure.
And it'll be a question of how much gold is there. So we have some players back in the mines now that we haven't seen yet. We have Boots That Shoot in the top right. He's another one of those more newish players. But we can see from his card, he's 16th overall. He's not exactly a lightweight at this game. He has almost a 3 mil score run. Doesn't do a lot of dailies. But I've watched him stream. He is pretty good at this game. So I expect to see a pretty good score out of him on this as well.
Boots is quite good, and he's a lot of fun to watch.
And in the top left, we have Vlad. I don't think we've looked at his info card yet. He also has a respectable score. He's broken 2.5 mil, which is what is required for the champion flare. He's done a bunch of dailies. Not quite as good as his non-daily high score. But again, he's 25th overall in this game, which means he is not exactly a lightweight. He should put on a pretty good showing in this competition.
Yeah, he's got a respectable score going so far.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him leave 1-4 also with about 400k.
Or more. I think he might be up around 450 or 5. The vault is in 1-4, isn't it? Oh no, he did the vault already.
Oh, I said leaving 1-3, not leaving the mines.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant leaving the mines.
That's fine.
My apologies.
Twiggle now. Yeah, you'll apologize and you'll like it. Twiggle now dealing with Old Bitey and the shopkeeper as well. Doesn't look like he has a shotgun to use at the moment, so that may make things a little more difficult, unless he's just placed it down somewhere.
Maybe.
We have Buddy making his way through the black market, and it is abysmal for resources. I saw 3 bombs.
Yeah, I mean, there's more coming out, but Buddy's down to 1 bomb.
Fortunately, there is that Matic right there. So as we said, there's not really going to be a lack of ability to collect this score. It's all about how the streamers, how the players decide to spend the resources they have. Twiggle just got the dunk on the shoppy with a bomb. That was nice.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. I have never been able to do that. Just one of the many ways that he's a better player at this than I am.
That's one of those things you just shoot for, right? You just try it, and then when it works out, you just act like it was totally planned.
Calculated. Everything's
Rex
calculated. And there's his shotgun. He just put it down somewhere. Or he grabbed the one from the shoppy down there. So I mentioned earlier there were a number of ways to take out Bitey. You can shoot him in the face a bunch. You can sticky bomb him. You can chuck regular bombs at him and let the impact damage take him out like I did. You can actually get him in a corner so that you can hit him with the whip but he can't hit you. And just slap him in the face a whole bunch.
A fish slap.
Yes. I will whip slap you until you die from it.
I didn't know you were so violent tomorrow.
Well, we're learning a lot about each other today. So Buddy is taking a different tactic to the exit keeper. A lot of people will throw items down at him. It looks like he's whipping bodies instead. He has not yet collected the Ankh, so we know that he's not done with that.
Whew. Close to that tiki trap. Scared me for a second, buddy.
Alright, in the top right, we now have Cybot using a custom skin that is freaking me out.
Oh, wow. He's got weird 8-bit red.
He is immediately my favorite person on screen. Because that is amazing. It looks like he also decided not to go for the climbing gloves. So we are seeing a mix of people taking the gloves and not taking the gloves.
Yeah, I mean, most people, especially speedrunners, will skip the gloves. And so if that's just what you're more comfortable with, that's the way we're going to see people playing these seeds.
Yeah,
There's a lot that can go wrong with climbing gloves.
One thing to keep in mind, however, with altars, is that the pool from which the item you get from an altar will be picked from, that was weird grammar, will change based on the items you've collected.
Right.
So someone collecting an item from the altar who has picked up the gloves may get a different item than someone who has not. And that could potentially affect the score, depending on what the item is. Because if you get the gloves, which you don't want, then you're just going to be down an item compared to everyone else in the first place.
That's true, but I don't know how. What have people been getting off the altar? Are they getting the gloves on the altar now?
I have seen climbing gloves on the altar.
Vlad is just running around picking up on ghosted gems. They were in that top right corner. I guess he didn't want to risk those.
Yeah, I suspect we will see a bunch of people who just want to make sure they get a decent score, playing it safe. Not trying risky ghosting and it's doing it.
Picked up some
again,
unghosted gems, and he left a few in the level there as he exited 1-3.
Yeah, and again, that's totally fine. It's better to do what you're comfortable with and do well at that than it is to try things you're not comfortable with and have something go horribly wrong.
Now, did you notice what Krill's final score was leaving the mines? I see that he got rid of the ball and chain.
I did not see it, but it will be on the Scoreathlon page.
I mean,
So
he's at 578. He might be the top score out of the mines at this point with all that ball and chaining he did.
It looks like he was 568 out of the mines,
What did
which I
Buddy
think is
have?
the highest we've seen from it. I did not see what Buddy had out of the mines.
I think he had like 558 or something.
I think so. I think everyone else has been around 550, so being around 570, close to my prediction, makes Krill the highest out of mines score we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think that we could say that Krill is in the lead at this point. Even though he's further behind, he's playing this tremendously.
Yeah, on a level by level comparison, I would definitely be comfortable saying that Krill currently has the advantage. So
That Croc man.
Speratus almost got himself telefragged by shooting that Croc man.
Yeah. Oh, phew.
I think he may be a couple seconds behind me on the stream.
Yeah.
You just
Right after you said that, that happened.
I apologize for the spoiler.
I mean, I
So
would
he's
just,
having some fun right now, blowing up the world.
just leave that guy alone and continue for a while.
Alright, so there we have Speratus showing you the simplest way to deal with a Crocman, and the safest.
Yeah, just bop him, let him jump into a wall.
Yeah, so good job on that, Speratus. And congratulations on being the first into the temple as well, with well over 1 million points. I expect to see him finishing well over 2 million in this run. I'll be surprised if it's less than 2.5, based on what I've seen from the resources coming up.
Looks like Cybot got a pitcher's mitt from the altar.
Yeah, and I would have picked it up. He decided not to.
I think
think
I would
the
have
pitcher's
skipped
mitt
it as
makes-
well.
You would have skipped it?
Yeah,
Okay, now what's your reasoning for skipping it?
because half the time you forget you have it and you screw up your bombs.
Okay, so my reasoning for taking it is, as long as you remember you have it, I think it allows you to be more precise with your bomb placements. Because you don't have to worry about what the arc is going to do.
The
You
arc,
can just get in
yeah.
line with it and chuck it.
But at this point, for most of us, that arc is so ingrained. Like, you just automatically account for that. It's not much of a... You don't give much thought to it. At least, I don't. It's just easy to account for. And when you're used to accounting for it, and all of a sudden you start screwing up your bombs, it can be a real pain.
Alright, so we've got... Oh, we just accidentally picked up the gloves. So we have... So we have another item that we may see people pick up or not pick up depending on how they are more comfortable playing the game. And
Yeah, he picked up those climbing gloves and then just said, well, screw it, and picked up the pitcher's mitt as well.
Run's ruined already, I'll ruin it
Yeah.
more.
Might as well.
So it looks like he's going to be exiting with more than 200k from 1-2 as well, as we've seen a lot of people do on this run.
Buddy's at 1.2 million. I remember back in the day that was Kinejep's cutoff for entering the mothership, I think. He wanted to have 1.2 million or he would reset.
He is 200k better than the best I've ever done. And it was in the mothership.
Yeah, I think my best is like 600.
Yeah, I died trying to take out a Yeti, and I didn't notice there was an elevator that had just ascended a tile in front of me as I was shooting the plasma cannon, and I blew myself up. And it came right after I said, I've already done better than my previous best, so the run could end right now and I would still be happy with it.
Called
And
it.
then the game called me on my bluff.
Yep.
And I went, okay then, let's start again.
Ooh, Speratus plasma cannoning gems out of the corner. It's a good move.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that gems have mass in this game. And you can do stuff like that, and you can actually kill some things by dropping gems on them.
Yes, that is true.
So Speratus is making good use of the plasma cannon in 4-1. Bottom left, we have Krill taking his time with the Matic. And he has saved a whole bunch of bombs by ball and chaining the world in 1-4.
And we have someone we haven't seen yet, Great Striker.
Yeah, Great Striker is actually completely new to me. I have not seen Great Striker before. At least before today. He may have been on stream earlier in the stream. It turns out that he is also not exactly a lightweight. 41st overall, 40th best score, almost 2 million. And a daily average of big money. So we may see something really impressive out of him today as well. I think that he may decide to go for it on this run and try to do the best that he possibly can.
Well, he must be good because he got the climbing gloves.
That is indeed the decider between good and bad. We saw him deal with that arrow trap above the 1-2 exit differently than most others. It's the first time today that we've seen a rope used to trigger that arrow trap.
And why not? You got a jetpack.
You got a jetpack, you don't really need the ropes. I'm also seeing a bunch of people who may not realize that if you're holding a corpse, it will soak up an arrow. We saw someone, I think it was Vlad, in the top left corner earlier, was throwing a shopkeeper up there, presumably not realizing that you could just hold the shopkeeper and go up and the shopkeeper would soak the arrow exactly the same way that a rat does.
Yeah. Man, Speratus is making quick work of this seed.
He is, and we just saw another crust bomb box fall from the top right corner of that level.
Yeah, while he was shooting at that, he also shot a gem right into himself, but at this point, I don't think that matters too much. He's holding steady at that 69 bomb count, does not want to lose a bomb.
That may be his end goal for the run.
He's trying to be at 69 ropes and possibly
I mean, there are worse goals.
if he can achieve that, I think he's the true winner of this.
I would agree. So my money is switching to Speratus to win this, because he already has the winning condition. Alright, so we're seeing now Speratus approaching the 94-minute mark in his run. If there's anyone watching who's not familiar with score runs, the timer actually breaks at 99 minutes. So once we get to 99 minutes, the timer is just going to stay there for the rest of the run.
Yeah. Oh, Buddy was offline for a little bit, but he just came back. He just had to leave for a minute to artificially inflate his score, and now he relaunched. He's back.
Yeah, we all know that Buddy is scum, so that's no surprise to anybody.
Yeah, you know, I heard that. I forget. I think I read it somewhere.
I see what you did there. So Twiggle is making some pretty good use of that black market matic right now. He knows that the ice caves have a whole bunch of stuff coming up, so he doesn't really need to conserve swings that much here. So he's taking his time to maximize score, as you do. I just realized, I don't know if anyone collected that emerald in the bottom right corner of 1-2. I don't know if I've seen anyone go back for that.
1-2? I mean, Krill was going nuts on everything. I wonder if he did.
Yeah, Krill may have. I haven't. Just because it hasn't been on stream doesn't mean it didn't happen. But I haven't myself seen anyone do it yet.
No. I mean, when you're watching 4 streams at once, you can't see everything.
So this is true. So Buddy right now is making his way through the ice caves.
Mazurek said that he and Buddy both got it.
Nice.